All right, let's talk about something that most of us dread, the self-evaluation. We're going to take that blinking cursor on a blank page and turn it into one of the most powerful tools you have for your career. Seriously, by the end of this, you'll actually see it as a huge opportunity, not just a chore. You know that feeling, right? The email from HR shows up and boom, suddenly you have to remember and then summarize everything you've done for the past year. It's stressful, it's kind of awkward, and if we're being honest, it's something most of us put off until the very, very last minute. And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's that exact feeling. You have to walk this tightrope where you don't want to sound like you're bragging, but you also can't afford to sell yourself short. And then you're supposed to point out your own flaws? It feels totally backward. So here's our game plan for tackling this. First, we'll talk about reframing this whole thing from a chore into a real opportunity. Then, I'm going to give you a 6-tip toolkit and a blueprint for how to put it all together. And it all leads up to the best part, using this document to actually launch your career goals. Okay, so let's start with the biggest thing, which is really a shift in mindset. This is not just some piece of corporate paperwork you have to check off a list. When you do it right, your self-evaluation becomes a strategic document that's actively working for you. And you have to realize this is a total win-win situation. For you, a well-written self-evaluation is your evidence. It builds the case for that promotion or that raise you want. For the company, it's actually super valuable data. It helps them find skill gaps, understand what motivates you, and improve the whole team. So when you take it seriously, everybody wins. All right, let's get into the practical stuff. We're going to build your toolkit right now. Think of these as 6 essential tools you can use to build a self-evaluation that sounds confident, is totally credible, and is actually compelling to read. So here are the 6 tools in our kit. We're going to talk about why you can't leave this to the last minute, how to use data to prove your points, showcasing your wins without sounding arrogant, being honest about where you can grow, keeping the tone right, and finally, using this to talk about your future. Let's dig into a couple of the most important ones. This one right here is absolutely crucial. Look at the before. I'm the best salesperson. That's just, an opinion. But the after, I consistently exceeded by an average of 10%. That is a cold, hard fact. It's backed by data. It proves your impact in a way your managers simply can't argue with. Numbers are your best friend here because they give your boss the ammunition they need to fight for you. And this tip takes it to the next level. It's not just about listing what you did, it's about explaining why it mattered to the business. You have to connect your accomplishments to the bigger picture. Did you save the company money? Did you make a process more efficient? This shows you're not just thinking like an employee, you're thinking like a strategic partner. Okay, now this is how you turn what feels like a negative into a huge positive. The weak example, I failed to meet a deadline, is just a dead end. But the strong one, it shows you're self-aware, you're committed to improving, and you're proactive. You haven't just identified a problem, you've already started working on the solution. I'm telling you, managers absolutely love to see this. Okay, so we've got the tools. Now let's look at the blueprint for how to put all of this together. We're going to structure your self-evaluation so it's really clear, it's logical, and it's easy for your manager to read and, most importantly, understand. Most of these forms follow a structure that looks something like this. Under achievements, you're going to use all that great data we talked about. For areas of improvement, you'll show that you actually listen to feedback. Then you'll review your old goals and propose some new ones. And finally, this is key, you'll proactively suggest your own development plan. It shows you own your career path. Sometimes the hardest part is just finding the right words. So think of these as fill-in-the-blank templates. Notice how every single one of them forces you to add a specific number or metric. Saying you successfully reduced costs by 15% is just so much more powerful than saying, I helped save money. It's not even close. Remember, your performance as an individual is only one part of the story. How you work with others can be just as important. These phrases are a great way to articulate your value as a collaborator. They show you get that success is about making the whole team better, not just about your own work. And here's exactly how to talk about those areas for improvement. See how the language is all forward-looking and positive? It's not, I'm bad at public speaking. It's, I'm actively developing my public speaking skills. That framing is constructive, and it shows you already have a plan in motion. Now we get to my favorite part. We're going to shift our focus from looking in the rearview mirror to looking straight ahead. This is where your self-evaluation stops being about the past and becomes a launch pad for whatever's next in your career. And here's the thing you have to remember. Your manager cannot read your mind. They just can't. This self-evaluation is your official opportunity to start a conversation about your future. If you want more responsibility, if you want to learn a new skill, if you see a path to leadership, you have to be the one to bring it up. And don't just say what you want, come to the table with ideas. When you suggest a specific course or a certification, or even ask about a mentorship, it proves you've put real thought into your own growth. Oh, and that last point is brilliant. Offering to share what you learn with the team, that shows that an investment in you is really an investment in everyone. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've covered a lot, so think of this as your final checklist, the key things to remember right before you hit that submit button. At the end of the day, just remember this. This document is your story. It is your narrative about the value you delivered this past year and the value you're planning to deliver next year. Don't treat it like just another task. Treat it like the powerful career-shaping tool it really is. So I'll leave you with this question. Don't wait until that form is staring you in the face. Start thinking about it right now. What is the one concrete, actionable goal you are going to propose for yourself in your next review? Because answering that question is the first real step to turning this entire process into a launch pad for your career.